Okay, let's transition from alkyl halides and ethers now to alcohols. So the generic formula for alcohol is some alkyl group R, okay, bonded with the alcohol functional group, OH. Okay. For example, this compound, there's the alkyl group 1,2 carbons is ethyl, and there's the alcohol portion. If you want to name an alcohol, give it its common name, you simply combine the alkyl group, and then at the end you say alcohol. So to name this top compound, it would be ethyl alcohol. A couple more examples here. So if we wanted to name this alcohol, the OH group is directly attached to a cyclopentane ring, so it's cyclopentyl alcohol. Here there's 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon chain, so it's butyl alcohol. And at the bottom, this is tert butyl alcohol. Okay? This carbon that's bonded to the alcohol is attached or bonded to 1, that's a methyl, 2, that's another methyl group, and 3 carbons, so it's tert butyl alcohol. And these are very important, so let's take a closer look in describing whether it's a primary, secondary, or tertiary alcohol. And we do that by looking at the carbon that's bonded to the alcohol. So this carbon is secondary because it's bonded to this carbon and this carbon, so we call this a secondary alcohol. Butyl alcohol, this carbon is primary, so it's a primary alcohol. Tert butyl alcohol, this carbon is tertiary, it's connected to the alcohol group, so it's a tertiary alcohol. I got a feeling I'm not going to win an Oscar for this, but I hope it serves the purpose to help you understand how to do this naming, and I'll send some practice problems as well. But now let's move to IUPAC naming of alcohols. So the alcohol is so important that we don't name it as a substituent. It's a functional group, okay? So it's a functional group, not a substituent. And to name it, we have to add a prefix. Not a prefix, but a suffix, OL, okay, to the end of our name. So what we're going to do is replace the E of the parent alkane with OL at the very end. For example, this alcohol, the parent chain is ethane, but instead of saying ethane, we take off the E and we add the OL, ethanol. This example down here, okay, this is an isopropyl group. So what we're going to do is name it from isopropane, it's going to be isopropanol. So as the alcohol, or as the compound that we're naming that has the alcohol gets more complicated, there's some rules that we need to use to properly name the compound. So rule number 1, your parent chain must include the alcohol functional group. Okay, when you're determining the longest chain, it's got to have the alcohol group there as well, or it can't be our parent chain. Number 2, we're going to use a number to tell the location of the alcohol group on that parent chain. Number 3, the alcohol gets priority in numbering. Okay, so you number your parent chain so that the alcohol gets the lowest number possible. I don't care if on the other side you can number and a methyl substituent gets number 1 or whatever. You number so that the alcohol gets priority. Okay, doesn't matter where the other guys are. And number 4, if 2 alcohols are present, just like every other thing, instead of just using the suffix ol, you're going to add diol to the end of the name. So the last part of naming alcohols, the IUPAC naming of alcohols. Let's remember the rules that we just erased off the board as we name these guys. So for example, the compound up here, excuse me, I number, starting my numbering at this carbon, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My parent chain is hexane. Now do not start over here even though my first substituent is at 2, 1, 2 methyl. I give the alcohol priority, so 1, 2, 3, the alcohol's 3. If I numbered here, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so alcohol gets priority. I start my numbering from here. The alcohol is on the 3 carbon, the methyl group on the 5 carbon. So we would name it based on our rules, 5-methyl hexane, drop the E, so 5-methyl hexane 3-ol. Now, you might see something written like this. This is the old way of doing things, so you just need to make yourself aware of it. Some people still like to pull the 3 out from the suffix and put it before the parent chain, and that's okay too. So it's 5-methyl-3-hexanol, the 3 saying that the alcohol is at the 3 carbon. If we look over here, we have the alcohol now attached to the cyclohexane ring. Okay? If the alcohol is on a ring structure, we don't have to, it gets priority number 1, that's where we start numbering, but we don't have to indicate that in our name, because everyone will know that the alcohol is the 1 carbon. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2-ethyl, 5-methyl. I number this way because ethyl, it starts with an E, methyl starts with an M. Okay? Putting it all together, 2-ethyl, 5-methyl, cyclohexanol. I don't have to do the 1. I don't have to put the 1 there. And then finally, this is an example of a diol. Okay? Once again, I start my numbering here, so this alcohol is 2. If I started over here, my first alcohol would be 3. The parent chain is hexane again, and this is a diol. So 6-chlorohexane 2,4-diol. Notice for a diol that I did not drop the E. Okay, I didn't mention that a second ago, but on the diols you do not drop the E. The other way, which is probably easier, the old-fashioned way, would be 6-chloro 2,4-hexane diol.